Blog Talk Radio.
Writing your book is the easy part. Promoting your book so readers can find and purchase it is the hard part. Welcome to the Author Chat Show, hosted by author-publisher Lynda D. Brown. Follow us at www.facebook.com/authorchat. And to contact the show to promote your book, contact me at theauthorchatshow@gmail.com. Stay tuned and listen to today's show.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the Saturday edition of the Author Chat Show. I'm your host, Lynda D. Brown. My guest today is author, voice actress, Luanna Helena. Luanna will be stopping by the Author Chat Show to chat with me about her new book, Party of One, Single Success. This is Luanna's second appearance on the Author Chat Show because not only is she a published author, she is also the narrator of my Invisible Enemy series. So she's been on the show before as we discussed the series. So it's going to be my pleasure to introduce you to Luanna as a best-selling author. We'll be right back to chat with Luanna after a word from today's sponsor.
How would you like to own your own health and wellness business with celebrities like Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Brown, Snoop Dogg, Jennifer Lopez, UFC fighters Brandon Vera, Houston Alexander, DWTS's Alfonso Riviero, singer B. Howard, and MMA fighter Rich Rigmadden promoting your business for you? How would you like to share amazing, great-tasting products with your friends and family and make extra money and get free products? How would you like to earn weekly and monthly bonuses? What about getting your share of equity in this billion-dollar company? For more information, log on to www.whatareyouyoueating.info.
All right, welcome back to the show. For those of you just tuning in, I'm very pleased to bring to you today my good friend, my voiceover narrator for my Invisible Enemy series, and now best-selling author, Luanna Helena. This is Luanna's second appearance, I believe, on the Author Chat Show. Luanna, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much, Lynda. It's great to be back for having me.
It is wonderful to have you back on here. Congratulations. This is your first book, is that correct?
Yes, that is my first book that I've written. As you mentioned, I have narrated books by other authors as yourself, but this is the first one I've written and published myself.
All right. And I'm so glad you stepped out and did that, Luanna, because you are such an inspiration with what you do for us with our audiobooks. So I felt that eventually you would get the bug and want to get out and write your own book. And again, I'm so glad that you did.
It's been 15 years in the making, actually. We'll talk about that a little more, I'm sure. But
okay.
Glad to finally have it done.
Absolutely. Now, like I mentioned, you've been on the show before as we discussed the Invisible Enemy series. But for those that did not get an opportunity to hear that show, why don't we get started with you telling us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, sure. Well, my name is Luanna Helena. I was actually born in the Caribbean, an island, small island, Antigua, and grew up there for the first 16 years of my life before my family moved to the U.S. Most of my life career work has been in teaching and education, high school English teacher for about 15 years. And, with that comes writing, editing, other students, like students' work and so on, and a little bit of your own. So I've always enjoyed writing in a way, but never really thought about the authoring process so much. Outside of career, my interests are acting, obviously, which led me to voiceover and then, audiobook narration. And I live in California now. Kind of made my way over from Florida to Arizona, and now in California, looking for all the warm spots I guess I could find.
Exactly.
And, avoiding the snow. So I live here now with my sister and a few pets. I'm a cat and a dog person. So yeah, that's kind of the story. Kind of the short version, I guess. And like I said, it's been kind of a 15-year process in writing the book. The introduction was actually written 15 years ago, like in 2000.
Oh,
and
wow.
Kind of tucked away until now, and the rest of it came together.
Exactly. And the title of your book, for those that did not hear the intro, is Party of One, Single Success. So, Luanna, you are single, is that correct?
That is true. I am single, so I'm writing pretty much from my perspective, and I know there are a few varying groups of singles. Like when I was doing a little research for the book, there were a lot of books on successful single parenting and bouncing back after, divorce or being widowed. So there are a lot of different perspectives, but this one specifically is just kind of always single, never married, and, what to do with that part of your life, if it's going to be a part before marriage or if it's just going to be your life.
Exactly. and we kind of laughed because we thought that this would be a great show right before Valentine's Day because, like you mentioned, there are a lot of single women, sometimes not even by choice. I'm divorced. I have not been in a, committed relationship in a while. There are those that are widowed. My good friend who is actually in Chicago right now getting her license for her brand new BMW that she won. She was widowed at a very young age, and she has not remarried. So this is a book that's going to really resonate with a lot of people. Luanna, tell us a little bit about the book.
Well, like I said, it started in 2000. I was on my way home. My family lived in Florida. I was the only one in Arizona. So I would go visit for holidays. I don't know, it was probably spring break or something. And on my way, flying back home, I noticed the airline magazine said that, where I was landing in Phoenix, Cats would be showing, playing that day. And I had always wanted to see that play. So I thought, this is perfect timing. As soon as I land, the matinee will be in a few hours. I'll grab my tickets, enjoy it, and then drive. I had like a 3-hour drive home after that, which just seemed ideal to me. It was like God had smiled on me. So I'm in this happy mood, about 20-something, early 20s. And then to just kind of spend a little time, because the box office wasn't open, I went across the street to a restaurant. It was an IHOP. I'm not trying to put them on blast, but it was an IHOP. And then I go in. I go in, and then the maitre d', and this is the introduction of the book, literally. He kind of walks up to me, he looks around, and he seems like really, really kind of hurt, and he's like, Party of One? Like shocked. And I'm like, yeah, not a problem for me. But then I kind of brushed that off. And then, he wrote my name down or whatever. Then he goes to call all the other parties, the couples, the big families, and so on. And then when he finally gets back to me, he's like whispering again, your table is ready. And he kind of points me over there looking like, oh, my gosh, poor girl. Like he was feeling so bad for me.
Right.
For the first few minutes, I'm sitting in my booth, like, sipping the coffee and wondering, okay, is something wrong with me? Like, if he's that hurt, should I be feeling kind of, away about this, walking into a restaurant by myself, or, am I really happy? Am I trying to pretend to be happy, or, whatever? So anyway, I guess it was just kind of therapeutic for me to shake it off. I grabbed a pen, paper, and I wrote down what's the introduction to the book. I'll read that as a part of my excerpt later. And then
okay, great.
I just kind of shook it off and, ordered my Rudy Tooty, fresh and fruity with blueberries and went back, purchased my ticket, enjoyed Cats. I cried, I laughed, and then drove my 3 hours home and just kind of tucked it away. And then, a few years later, I was in a creative writing class, and I guess I was being a little lazy. I didn't want to go write something new. So I was like, oh, here's that thing. And I went ahead and turned it in. And the professor was like, oh, this is pretty good. They put it in the literary magazine. So I'm like, oh, maybe that was the purpose, to have it published in a college literary magazine, the end,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but then it's like God wasn't through with it yet. It's like, no, it's not a journal entry. It's not an essay. There's more. So, people have been telling me, like different people with a prophetic gift have said, you have a book in you. God wants you to write this book. And it will help people, based on what you've been through. And I'm like, okay, all I have is this piece of paper. But from there, late last year, it was just kind of a pulling away, kind of setting time aside and just getting, the rest of it going. And what it ended up being, it was something different from what I thought it would be. It was just, the book ends up being kind of a parallel between the life of Jesus, who is the ultimate single, and then our life. Right. So we don't have a lot of his life. We have, 12, and then we have 30 to 33. So from those 4 years or so, we can say, okay, what did he do as a single man? What should we do as single people? And it just kind of lines up. So it breaks down into 3 main categories, and the 3 things to pretty much focus on is to reach goals, not just set them, but to really take the time to reach them without, a lot of other obligations in your life. And then to take the time and enjoy the perks of being single. There are definitely benefits to being a single person. And then finally to relish relationships, not to be so isolated. You may not have a spouse right now, but you have siblings, you have parents, you have friends, you have, different relationships all around you that you can really take the time to enjoy. So those were the 3 main areas that the book gets broken down into, and just pretty much how Jesus approached each of these areas in his single life, and then what we can take from his example to apply to our own lives.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you, Luanna, I never thought about it. I never thought about it that way, that Jesus was indeed a single person. And he notice how he didn't, and of course, like you said, he had a goal that he knew. He knew what he was about, his father's business, as it mentions in the word. But, and now I'm going to say this, and I hope I don't offend any married women, any women that are in long-term relationships, but I find personally, as a single person, I can really get so much done on the goals that I've set for myself, the writing of the books, doing the radio show, publishing other authors. I don't believe I would have the time or even the concentration to do it if I had a full-time partner. Is this something that you've experienced as well?
Yes, that's definitely been my experience. I mean, even just the time it took to write the book, it was 10 days where, if I lived with someone or had to take care of someone or spend time with someone, it just wouldn't have been done. It could have actually caused a rift in the relationship if they didn't understand. I mean, I kind of locked in for 3 days and then just wrote for 7 days after that, which is, more than a week. So, yeah, definitely there are times where there are things that we like to do with people. I have my sister and I do a lot of things together. We go to the movies or, go out and eat and so on. But there's times and journeys that we just have to take by ourselves. And it's just, it's a lot easier to not have to explain what's going on with you.
Right, or either stop what you're doing because he needs this, or your kids. And that's another thing. I have a son that will be 37, I believe, in June, and now that he's got his own life, that again it frees me up to do what it is that was in my heart, and I wasn't able to do as a married woman, and then as a single parent. So that in itself is enough reason for, I think, for people that are out there alone and not quite sure how to navigate their lives, especially if you find yourself single unexpectedly. I mentioned to Luanna before the show that I had just got home because I work a full-time job still, and we're doing some OT, which of course I'm there for. And I get home and I see that we just lost Justice Scalia. Just passed away today, and I'm like, now see, that's unexpected. Now I think he's married now, so now his wife has to now learn how to deal with the loneliness and the almost like being abandoned. But even though he had no choice in that, of course. But so how do you navigate that? So Luanna, I love the fact that you started off with the story about going into Denny's, because a lot of single women are still intimidated about going to places like the movies or out to eat by themselves. Why do you think that is?
I think it's, we're kind of afraid of what people think. Like when I was going into that restaurant, I had no idea that people felt that terribly about people eating alone. So seeing that host reaction, now, that could have gone one of two ways. I could have suddenly become self-conscious and felt as bad as he did and just kind of taken on his belief system, I guess, at that point, that every woman should be with a man. And I don't know if he thought it was disgraceful or embarrassing for me, but I went the other direction and just kind of wrote out, like, his whole dialogue. And, okay, I don't know what that was about, and then just kind of moved on. So, yeah, I think when people are in the mode of, what will people think, and, do I look like I'm lonely, I'm a loser, whatever, then I think that's what kind of scares them. And then it keeps you from doing things you want to do. I mean, sometimes, like I said, I go to the movies with my sister, but we might go and want to see two different things sometimes. So we'll go in together and split, go down to different theaters. But neither of us have a problem just sitting there by ourselves. Or if the other person doesn't feel like going out at all, just to go and do something for you. I have no problem sitting at Starbucks with a smoothie or a cup of coffee and a book. Just learn to enjoy your own company, I think, might be the other thing that kind of keeps people, just learn to like you.
Well, and I think it takes a different level of confidence in yourself to to tread through those waters. And I'm like, I hate to say it, I've been single now really because my son, like I said, will be 37. My husband and I broke up when we split up when he was like 18 months old. So I have no problem, walking into a restaurant. I mean, and we're talking high class restaurant. A table of one, please. Let me. And we'll bring my work. You know how you bring your laptop in and or your tablet and you start, So I think that is absolutely fabulous. Another situation that is hard for singles to navigate is, and I'm sure we've all experienced this, is the dreaded family reunions or family weddings. And then you run into relatives and go, "Oh, you're still single?" Do you mention that in your book?
Yeah, actually, that was part of the excerpt that I plan to read. I call it, and
awesome.
I'll clear this up as soon as I say it. The chapter is called STDs and Showers.
Oh, wow.
STD stands for Save the Date. And showers, of course, are bridal and baby showers. But I was being cute and clever there. But that chapter addresses, not feeling the need to go to every single thing, but then not, going to the other extreme and declining everything, finding that middle ground. What can you do for the person that maybe is still as valuable as your attendance, or, maybe even more so. So have a few ideas in there for when all these invitations come up and you feel pressured.
And it is pressure, whether intentional or not. But again, It takes a certain level of confidence to say, hey, I'm good. Now, if the right person comes along, like you, Helena and I are both spirit-filled women, and I enjoy waiting on the Lord to send me that right person, because I think what's worse, being single or being connected to someone that is not the right person. Been there, done that as well. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, Luanna is going to read us an excerpt out of her new book, Party of One, Single Success. So just hold tight, and we'll be right back to the Author Chat Show after word from today's sponsor.
How would you like to own your own health and wellness business with celebrities like Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Brown, Snoop Dogg, Jennifer Lopez, UFC fighters Brandon Vera, Houston Alexander, DWTS's Alfonso Riviero, singer B. Howard, and MMA fighter Rich Rigmadden promoting your business for you? How would you like to share amazing, great-tasting products with your friends and family and make extra money and get free products? How would you like to earn weekly and monthly bonuses? What about getting your share of equity in this billion-dollar company? For more information, log on to www.whatareyouyoueating.info.
All right, we're back on the Author Chat Show with today's guest, author, voiceover actress, and educator Luanna Helena. And Luanna is actually going to read us an excerpt from her new book, Party of One, Single Success. Now, Luanna, what chapter and page will you be reading from?
I'm going to start with the introduction, like I mentioned, on page 5, and then I'm going to skip over to the STDs and showers section on page 29. So it'll be page 5, and then I'll go from page 29 to maybe 31.
Okay, great.
And if I exceed 5 minutes, just let me know. I think it should be about 5, though.
That's fine, because we actually have 7, so just take your time.
7. Okay, all right. So, introduction. Party of One, he whispered questioningly and in semi-disbelief and empathetic embarrassment. Yes, I whispered back, subconsciously mimicking his covert manner of speech. Party of Two was directed in vast contrast to the couple that preceded me, almost with a nudge, wink, and the maitre d's blessing. And when the Joneses table was ready, he practically yelled, "Jones, party of 6," in an effort to get their attention. However, when a booth had been located for my sole occupation, the invisible volume control knob was again turned down as he practically mouthed the words, "Your table is ready." I don't know why I'd never noticed this before. Maybe it had never occurred before, though I seriously doubt that. But I was beginning to realize the societal stigma attached to being single. And I'm going to skip over to page 29 now. STDs and showers. They come by mail, email, and, of course, verbally and socially. Save the dates, usually for weddings, and invitations to showers also for weddings as well as for babies. Accepting these and other invitations, especially from close family members, friends, and other loved ones, can often provide an opportunity to spend time with those whose company we enjoy. Declining those invitations, however, is also an option. This does not have to result in absolutely no further interaction with the host, but simply an alternative day or time to extend our wishes to them. Take, for example, a graduation invitation. As a teacher, I've received these in the past. While a stadium or gymnasium filled with graduates, parents, and other well-wishers may not be the place we prefer to spend our day, we still accept. Often the decision is based on some old adage that the best gift we can give others, especially young people, is our time. Well, in my opinion, this 90% truth and 10% guilt trip is truly intended for parents of these young people. So if this is your own son or daughter's graduation we're talking about, please be there for him or her. But the single childless invitee can still give graduates the precious gift of our time by inviting them out to breakfast or lunch or matinee where we spend quality time conversing and, above all, listening. This occasion will be far more memorable than the quick hug, pat on the back, and hurry congrats we offer after the commencement ceremony, among so many others, as everyone hurries to remember where they parked and they dread the mazed exit from the parking lot. So that night, the grads get to bask in the pride of their closest family members and friends in overcrowded restaurants or intimate gatherings at home. So feel free to graciously decline this invitation, and when all the excitement has settled down, keep the celebration of their success going with an invitation of your own. So I have some other suggestions here for different types of invitations. So general invitations like birthdays, graduations, retirement, if you choose to decline, then maybe you can offer a meal, take them out on a later day, or invite them over, prepare something for them. Maybe a movie, go to the theater or have a movie night at your home. If it's a wedding invitation, you can offer to pet sit or house sit on the honeymoon. Maybe offer to babysit on a date night, might be a year or a few months in, but keep in touch with the couple and, see when they need you. And then for showers, like wedding and baby showers, you can spend time doing a stress-free activity with the bride or with the mom-to-be. Maybe just a walk in the park, a workout if they're, still trying to keep fit or lose weight for the event or something. Get a manicure or pedicure, and this can either be before the event or once it's all over, then, kind of decompress with them. So
Sure.
At the end of every section, I have like a little balance section, and this one at the end of relationships, it ends this way. It says, all relationships, whether family or friends, like every other area of our lives, must come into balance. While we shouldn't shun and avoid all human interactions, we must guard against becoming completely consumed by them. We can learn that if Jesus chose to spend time fostering relationships, then as the saying goes, no man is an island, and we are therefore meant to connect to at least one other person at some point in our lives. We do also note, however, that the person with whom he ultimately spent most of his time was God, his Father. And the closing scripture here is, as often as possible, Jesus withdrew to out-of-the-way places for prayer, and that's from Luke 5. And then another one, at about the same time, he climbed a mountain to pray, and he was there all night in prayer before God, and that's from Luke 6. So if we ever find ourselves having to choose between dispensable earthly relationships and our absolutely indispensable relationship with God, the choice is clear. And Jesus himself further reassures us, no one who has sacrificed home, spouse, brothers, sisters, parents, children, whatever, will lose out. It will all come back multiplied many times over in your lifetime, and then the bonus of eternal life. And that's from Luke 18:29. And that kind of closes out the chapter before we go into dating. And I'm sure that, that's the little point of interest for listeners. But they'll have to get the book and, pick up on those chapters. But, yeah, that ends my excerpt.
It sounds wonderful. And make sure, Luanna, you email me the ebook so that I can read it and do a review for you on Amazon, because I think it's definitely something that's needed. One thing that you mentioned in the synopsis of the book or the book description is that you wish this was something that you read as early as 14 years old. I agree with that so much, especially since women are doing so much more than what our mothers and our grandmothers did. What age would you recommend this book for teenagers to get their hands on a copy of this book? What age do you think is appropriate?
I think for most teenagers, about 14 would be good, like freshman year in high school. You start thinking
Mm-hmm.
forward. Everybody's starting to ask you, what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to be? That kind of thing. You start thinking, whether it's marriage, family, is it all career? Can I do both? And then society is giving you impressions. One group will say, oh, you can have it all. Another group, it's one or the other. Your family might have beliefs that promote, one lifestyle choice over another. So I think that'd be a good time to really pick it up and see, okay, I'm probably going to start out single. I'm not going to get married right out of high school. So how do I live that part of my life successfully? And then, start to see that list of goals of education and career and ministry and all the different things that are listed to, get fixed or situated before looking at other relationships.
Wonderful. Now, and for those that are listening, again, the title of the book is Party of One, Single Success. The book is available in Kindle, paperback, and, of course, she did it in audiobook, and I'm assuming you did your own narration for the audiobook?
Yes, I narrated it myself, so all 3 formats are available.
Okay. And Luanna, before we go, how can listeners connect with you online?
The best way to connect with me online is Facebook. My personal page is L Helena, Lhelena. And then any other social media, like I am on Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope, Luanna Helena, full name, at LuannaHelena. And what I'm doing right now is just a monthly Periscope. I don't get on very frequently, but once a month, the last Saturday of every month. So this month it will be the 27th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. I'm doing a scope about 30 minutes on a section of the book. So I'll be going into a little more detail on the introduction this month, and then various chapters, all the way through Christmas Eve. The last Saturday will be, New Year's Eve. Last Saturday will be December 31st. So that's a good place to connect. Well, it's Periscope at Luanna Helena.
Absolutely.
And then my website, my website has all the links that I just mentioned as well, and it is luannahelena.com.
Wonderful, wonderful. We will have all that information on the Author Chat Facebook fan page, so make sure that you connect there and also connect with Luanna on her website, so that way you can connect with her on social media. And for you authors, because a lot of my listening audience are authors, if we have a book out called The Author Chat Guide to Converting Your Book into a Audiobook. If you are looking for an audiobook narrator, I can't even tell you how much I recommend Luanna Helena. She did all 3 of my Invisible Enemy series books, and they are just, we're still getting royalty checks on it. So, Luanna, can you tell us very, very briefly what type of genres you like to do for the audiobooks that you're interested in reading for?
I enjoy it's a very unique genre. I guess that's where yours would fall, is just that Christian fiction, but just based on truth, though. So not just vampires and werewolves, but any book that kind of looks into the supernatural realm, but based realistically on, angels, demons, the Holy Spirit, that type of Christian science fiction, if you want to call it that. And then besides that, I enjoy doing nonfiction, like self-help books. The very first book I narrated was a Christian woman's guide to breaking free from pornography. It was, a very interesting topic to cover, because as I read, I like to learn from the book, and I like to read things that I enjoy as well. So, Christian self-help, Christian fiction, anything that is positive, just uplifting, informational, interesting, engaging. I really enjoy reading through it for myself and then for the narration as well.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, our time is up. Luanna, I can't begin to tell you how much I just wish the best for you. Congratulations again for getting book 1 out. I'm sure there are going to be more books to come. Are you working on a second book?
Not currently, but you are the third person to tell me that. So there must be something else there. Everybody has said
There
I'm
is
good,
something
and
else
me
there.
more. So.
Absolutely. Well, as we mentioned earlier, now is the time to do it when you're not involved with somebody. You've got all that, I'm not even going to say free time, but what's the word that I want to use? You have that good working time, that time that
Right.
you could do something where you set goals and you can go ahead and try to achieve those goals and then sit back. This is my goal, to do everything that we're doing with our book, and then to sit back and have someone to share it with once
Right.
once we're there with the success. So again, we wish you all the best, and really looking forward to you coming back on the show to chat with us about your new book, or if there's something going on that we're both hoping for with the Invisible Enemy series book. We've got big plans for that.
Thank you very much for having me. I enjoyed my time.
And one more thing, since tomorrow is the Valentine's Day, what do you have planned for tomorrow?
Well, I planned for a quiet day. There was actually a restaurant my sister and I were going to go to tomorrow. They were having a big endless lobster buffet or whatever. But then we're like, they do it all weekend, so why wait for Valentine's? So we're actually going to go up this afternoon and kind of get it out of the way, enjoy it, and then just stay at home. There are a bunch of marathons going on TV and different things going on. So, tomorrow will be an indoor quiet day, but, we're doing a pre-Valentine's celebration, I guess.
Sounds like a plan. Well, sweetie, enjoy the rest of your day. You go out and get that lobster dinner. And we're definitely looking forward to getting a copy of your book and just really sharing this information that there is a life if you're just out there. There is a single success. So, again, congratulations so much.
Thank you very much.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, sweetie. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, so that was author, voiceover actress, and teacher Luanna Helena chatting with us about her new book, Party of One, Single Success. And as I mentioned, the book is available on Amazon, I'm sure Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, anywhere where online major book retailers are. The Kindle book is currently $9.99. The paperback is $12.99. And she has it on Audible because she is a voiceover narrator. She's an audiobook narrator. And if you're not familiar with Audible, you can actually go to audibles.com and get the book for free and just join that club. So if you pull it up on Amazon, because I don't know if you're aware of this, but Amazon and I purchased Audibles a couple of years ago. And this is why I wrote the book, How to Convert Your Published Book into an Audiobook, because now as a published author, especially if you're using the KDP, which is the Kindle Direct Publishing, or CreateSpace for Amazon for the paperback book, you can now use this service and turn your book into an audiobook and find a wonderful narrator like I did. That's how I found Luanna through, it's called ACX, Audiobook Exchange. And it's also, and your book will end up on audibles.com, the iTunes bookstore, and Amazon. So this is definitely something that you want to check out if you are an author. If you have any questions, or if you're listening to the show and you like more information about how to convert your book into a published book, shoot me an email at theauthorchatshow@gmail.com, or just log on to Amazon.com and purchase the book. I have the book available in ebook. All right, that's our show for today. And again, tomorrow is Valentine's Day, so we will not be having a show. But I pray that each and every one of you, those of you that are in relationships, that you have a great time with your significant other. And for those of you that are single, hey, grab a girlfriend or just sit back, like Luanna said, do a marathon. Personally, believe it or not, I'll be at work. Like I said, we're working overtime where I'm working at my full-time job. Then I'm planning on going out like Luanna to meet up with some friends for dinner right after today's show. Okay, so Enjoy the rest of your Saturday and enjoy Valentine's Day tomorrow. And we'll catch you right back here next week on the Author Chat Show. Goodbye.